Hare Krishna, welcome to all devotees. Now we'll start today's Bhagavatam class. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naram Chaiva Narottamam. Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udire. Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्ति भक्ति निष्ठिकी. Hare Krishna, Dandat Pranam. Today we completing this chapter of 6. Parikshit Maharaj passes away. Srimad Bhagwatam, Canto 12, श्लोका 61 to 80. वैशंपायन शिष्या वैचरक अध्वर्य वह अभवन यच्च चेरुः ब्रह्म अहति अहम अक्षपणम स्वगुरोः व्रतम. याज्ञवल्क्य च तत्शिष्य आह आह अहो भगवन् कियत् चरितेन अल्पसाराणां चरिष्यामि सुदुरश्चरम् इति उक्त गुरु अपि आह कुपित याहि अलम त्वया विप्र अवमन्त्रा शिष्येन मत अदितं तज अश्व इति आशु इति. देवरात सुत सापि छर्दित्वा यजुषां गणं तथागतथ मुनयः ददृशुः तान् यजुगणान् यजुंषि तित्तराः भूत्वा तत्लोलुपतयात् पतया आददुः. तैत्तिरीया इति यजुशाखा आसन सुपेशलाः. याज्ञवल्क्य तथा ब्राह्मण छन्दांसि अधिगवेशयन् गुरोः अविद्यमानानि उपतस्ते अर्कम ईश्वरम. श्री याज्ञवल्क्य उवाच. ओम नमो भगवते आदित्याय अखिल जगताम आत्मस्वरूपेण कालस्वरूपेण चतुर्विध भूतनिकायानां ब्रह्म आदि स्तंभ पर्यन्तानां अनंत हृदयेषु बहिः अपि च आकाश इव उपाधिना व्यवधीयमानः भवान् एक एव क्षणलव निमेष अवयव उपचित संवत्सर गणेन आप आदान विसर्गाभ्याम इमां लोक यात्रा अनुभवति. यत् उ अह वाव विबुद्ध वृषभं तरत अस्त तपति अनुसवन अहर अह अह आम्नाय विधिना उपतिष्ठमानानाम् अखिल दुरित वृजिन बीजौ अभर्जन भगवतः समभिधीमहि तपन्मण्डलम् यह इह वाव सिरचर निकराणां निज निकेतनानां मन इंद्रिय आसु गणान आत्मनः स्वयं आत्मा अंतर्यामी प्रचोदयति. यह एव इमं लोकमति कराल वंदन अंधकार सज्ञा जगर ग्रह गिलितं मृतकम इव विचेतनम अवलोक्यानुकंपया परम कारुणिकः ईक्षय एव उत्थाप्य अणु सवणं श्रेयसी स्वधर्म आख्य आत्मा अवस्थाने प्रवर्तयति. अवणीपतिः इव असाधूना भयम उदिरयत् नट अटति परित आशा आपाले तत्र पाले तत्र तत्र कमलकोशात् अलिभि ही उपवृत अरण अतः भगवन् तव चरण नलीन युगलम त्रिभुवन गुरुभिः अभिवंदितम् अहम अयात याम अय जुष्काम उपसरामि इति सुत उवाच. एवं सुतस भगवान् वा आजिरूपधरो रविः यजुंषि अयातयामानि अमुनये अदात प्रसादितः. यजुर्भिः अकरोत् शाखा दशपञ्चशतै विभुः जगृहु वाजसन्नि सनि अस्ता सन्न्याता काण्वमाद्य माद्यन्दिनादयः जैमिने सामगस्य आसीत् सुमन्तुः तनयः मुनिः सुत्वान् तु तत्सुतः ताभ्याम् एकं प्रसंहितम् सुकर्मा च तत्शिष्यः सामवेद तरहो महान् सहस संविता भेदं चक्रे साम्नां तद्विज हिरण्याभ कौशल्य पौषञ्जी च सुकर्मणः शिष्यौ जगृहुतुः च अन्य आवन्त्यो ब्रह्मवित्तमः उदित्या सामगा शिष्यः आसन् पञ्चशतानि वै पौषञ्जी अवन्त्यो च पीतान् च प्राचान् प्रचक्षते लौगाक्षी माङ्गली कुल्य कुशित कुक्षी एव च पौषञ्जी शिष्य जगृहुः संहिता ते शतशतं वृतः हिरण्याभस्य चतुर्विंशति संहिता शिष्यौ च स्वशिष्यभ्यः शेषा अवन्त्य आत्मवान् Translation and purport by the Srila Prabhupada Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The disciples of Vaishnavan became authorities in the Atharva Veda. They were known as the Charakas because they executed strict vows to free their guru from his sin of killing a Brahmana. Once Yajnavalkya, one of the disciple of Vaishnavan, said, "O Master, how much benefit will be derived from the feeble endeavors of these weak disciples of yours? I will personally perform some outstanding penance." Addressed thus, the spiritual master Vaishnavan became angry and said, "Go away from here. Enough of you, O disciple, who insults Brahmanas. Furthermore, you must immediately give back everything I have taught you." Yajnavalkya, the son of Devrat, then omitted the mantras of Yajurveda and went away from there. The assembled disciples, looking greedily upon these Yajur hymns, assumed the form of a partridge and picked them all up. These divisions of the Yajurveda therefore became known as the most beautiful Taittiriya Samhita. The hymns collected by partridges, titirraha. My dear Brahmana Shaunak, Yajnavalkya then desired to find out new Yajur mantras unknown to even his spiritual master. With this in mind, he offered attentive worship to the powerful Lord of the Sun. Sri Yajnavalkya said, "I offer my respectful obeisance to the Supreme Personality of Godhead appearing as the Sun. You are present as the controller of the four kinds of living entities, beginning from Brahma and extending down to the blades of grass, just as the sky is present both inside and outside every living being. You exist both within the hearts of all as the super soul and externally in the form of time, just as the sky cannot be covered by the cloud present within it. You are never covered by any false material designation by the flow of years, which are made up of the tiny fragments of time called kshanas, lavas, and nimeshas. You alone maintain this world, drying up the waters and giving them back as rain. O glowing one, O powerful Lord of the Sun, you are the chief of all the demigods. I meditate with careful attention on your fiery globe because for those who offer prayers to you 3 times daily, according to the Vedic method passed down through authorized disciplic succession, you burn away all sinful activities, all consequent suffering, and even the original seed of desire. You are personally present as the indwelling Lord in the hearts of all moving and non-moving beings who depend completely on your shelter. Indeed, you animate their material minds, senses, and vital airs to act. After dividing his Sanhita into two parts, the wise Pale spoke it to Indra, Pramiti, and Baskal. Baskal further divided his collection into 4 parts, O Bhargav, and instructed them to his disciples, Bodhya, Vyadnavalkya, Arashar, and Agnimitra. Indra Pramiti, the self-controlled sage, taught his Samhita to the Lord mystic Mandukya, whose disciple Devamrit later passed down the divisions of the Rigveda to Sobari and others. The son of Mandukya named Sakale divided his own collection into 5 interesting one subdivision each to Vatsal, Vatsya, Mudgal, Saliya, Gokalya, and Shishira. The word has been seized and swallowed by the python of darkness in its horrible mouth and has become unconscious as if dead. But mercifully glancing upon the sleeping people of the world, you raise them up with the gift of sight. Thus, you are most magnanimous at the 3 sacred junctures of each day. You engage the pious in the path of ultimate good, inducing them to perform religious duties that situate them in their spiritual position. Just like an earthly king, you travel about everywhere, spreading fear among the unholy as the powerful deities of the directions offer you in their folded palms, lotus flowers, and other respectful presentation. Therefore, my Lord, I am prayerfully approaching your lotus feet, which are honored by the spiritual masters of the 3 worlds, because I hope to receive from you mantras of the Yajurveda unknown to anyone else. Sutta Goswami said, satisfied by such glorification, the powerful sun god assumed the form of a horse and presented to the sage Yagyavalkya Yajur mantras previously unknown in human society. From these countless hundreds of mantras of the Yajur Veda, the powerful sage compiled 15 new branches of Vedic literature. This became known as the Vajashanei Samhita because they were produced from the hairs of the horsemen and they were accepted in disciplic succession by the followers of Kanva, Madhyandin, and other rishis. Jaimini Rishi, the authority of the Samveda, had a son named Sumantu, and the son of Sumantu was Sutwan. The sage Jaimini spoke to each of them a different parts of the Samveda Samhita. Sukarma, another disciple of Jaimini, was a great scholar. He divided the mighty tree of the Samveda into 1000 Samhitas. Then, O Brahmana, 3 disciples of Sukarma, Hiranyanab, the son of Kaushal, Pausyanji, and Avantya, who was very advanced in spiritual realization, took charge of the Sam mantras. The 500 disciples of Pausyanji and Avantya became known as the northern singers of the Sam Veda, and in later times, some of them also became known as eastern singers. 5 other disciples of Pausyanji, namely Longakshi, Laugakshi, Manga Ali, Kulya, Kusida, and Kukshi each received 100 Samhitas. Kruta, the disciple of Hiranyanab, spoke 24 Samhitas to his own disciples, and the remaining collection were passed down by the self-realized sage Avantya. Purport by the Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Vaishampayan was angry because one of his disciples, Yajnavalkya, was insulting the other disciple, who were after all qualified Brahmanas, just as a father is distributed when one son mistreats the father's other children. The spiritual master is very displeased if a proud disciple insult or mistreats the guru's other disciple. According to Sridhar Swami, it is improper for a Brahmana to collect what has been omitted. And so the powerful Brahmana disciples of Vaishampayan assumed the form of Tittiras, party and collected the valuable mantras. This prayer is not offered to the sun god as an independent of or autonomous entity, but rather to the supreme personality of Godhead, represented by his powerful expansion, the solar deity. According to Vedic culture, the three higher classes of society, the intellectual, political, and mercantile section, are formally connected with the spiritual master by initiation and receive Gayatri mantra. This purifying mantra is chanted 3 times daily at sunrise, noon, and sunset. Auspicious moments for the performance of spiritual duties are calculated according to the sun's path in the sky, and this systematic scheduling of spiritual duties is here attributed to the sun as the representative of God. Thus end the purpose of the humble servants of this of his divine grace is Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada to the 12th canto, 6th chapter of the Srimad Bhagwatam, entitled Maharaj Parikshit passes away. Om Agyanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vande Am Sri Guroho Sri Yuta Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavancha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathan Tam Sajivam Sahadvaitam Savadutam परिजन सहितम कृष्ण चैतन्य देवम श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांच नमो ओम विष्णु पादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा दंडवत प्रणाम. Today we try to understand of Srimad Bhagwatam, Canto 12, Chapter 6, Maharaj Parikshit passes away. Shloka number 61 to 80. In this shloka, the disciple of Vaishnavan became authorities in the Atharva Veda. All Vedas, who is the authority, who has authority of that particular yoga Vedas, and how they divided, how they become Upanishads, all are describing in detail in this shloka. Prabhuji will tell you in detail. Hare Krishna Dandat Pranam. Mancha kalpataru becha kripa sindhuve evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So we are seeing this very important history of how the Vedas have come up, because this is what Muniji wanted, was the inquiry was. How did this whole thing come up? So yesterday we saw that if you are able to listen, even listen, I'm talking about just listening to this, how this breakdown happens into multiple Vedas, then we will be freed of all the sins. And that is why we said, since yesterday we heard it, we are almost freed of the sins. But such is the material world that knowingly or unknowingly, we still commit mistakes. And that is why we have to be very, very careful, and we have to keep on listening repeatedly. And today we are seeing how Yajurveda additional mantras came up in Yajurveda because of special prayers and worship by Yajnavalkya Rishi. And this was given by Vivaswan, Suryadev, because the spheres were very, very sincere. So what we need to learn is, when we are thinking of the different souls which are engaged in this material world, and if you are very sincere and we pray sincerely, then Krishna ensures that the prayers get fulfilled. So we saw that how disciples of Vaishampayan became authorities in Atharva Veda. And that is why Charaka Samhita, that's how it came up. Atharva Veda. And whatever was there, they were coming under Charaka. And they executed so many vows so that the Brahman Hatya sin, which unfortunately had come upon Vaishampayan Muni, would be freed up. Now, Yajnavalkya was one of those disciples of Vaishampayan. And he inquired that we are weak disciples. So, what kind of benefit can be derived by our efforts, which are very, very feeble? I am ready to do whatever penances you want. But let me know, give me some service. Vaishampayan, when he was saying, thought that there is some arrogance. And that's where Vaishampayan Muni, Yajnavalkya, made a mistake. He said that your disciples are feeble, they are weak. I am strong, I will do outstanding penance. So initially it was a request, and then that arrogance came. And this enraged Vaishampayan Rishi. He became angry and he asked him to get away because he indirectly had insulted Brahmanas. And he took away all the knowledge which he had given to Yajnavalkya. So whatever he had learned of Yajurveda, he had to give them back. And whoever were the other disciples, they immediately took up all the Yajurveda hymns. And they became very, very strong. So the three parts of Yajurveda became known as Taittiriya Samhita, because they were all collected with Tiraka. So Yajnavalkya wanted to know, because he had given up all what was told. He wanted to find out new mantras, which were not even known to his teacher. And so he started offering worship to Sun God. He worshipped sincerely. And when he was worshipping, he was very clear that he was actually worshipping Krishna, who was appearing as sun. And that is why he said that, oh Krishna, in the form of sun, you are there. I'm offering my obeisances to you. You are the controller of all the four kinds of living beings. Right from Brahma to the blade of a grass. You are there within this material world as well as outside. You exist within the hearts of all Paramatmas as well as externally in the form of Kala, time. And you are so vast. You cannot be covered by anything, not even material designations. You are made up of tiny kshanas. But then you are the one who are the maintainer of the world. As a sun, you are the chief of all demigods. And that is why I'm offering my prayers to you 3 times daily, according to Vedic methods, so that all the sinful activities can be burnt away, even though original seed of desire. So he did all these prayers. And then he explained how the world was caught up in the darkness of materialism. He praised Sun God. He told that you are traveling, spreading fear amongst the unholy, and at the same time, you are also protecting. And he requested that please help me. Now, when you are getting so much of glorifications, it was but natural for Sun God to be very satisfied. And so he came in the form of Ashwa and he gave Yajurveda unknown mantras to Yajnavalkya. And from these hundreds of mantras, Yajnavalkya Muni then created 15 new branches, which came to be known as Vajshanehi Samvita, because they had come from the hairs of the horse. And then it was given to the disciples, Kanva, Madhyandina. Now, Jaimini Rishi, that also comes into this. He is the authority of Samveda, who had a son Sumantu, who had a son Sutvan, and he gave them different parts of Samved Sanhita. Sukarpa was also a disciple of Jaimini, and he divided Samveda into 1000 Sanhitas. His three disciples, Hiranya, Paushantya, Avantya, they took charge of the Samvantras. In fact, Pushyanji, he had 500 disciples, and those and Avantya became known in the northern as Samvedas. And also they came to be known as Eastern singers. 100 Samhitas were received by 5 disciples of Paushyanji, and Krita, who was the disciple of Hiranyap, he took the remaining collections and gave it to Avantya. So what we learn from this history is how we have to be sincere in our prayers, how we have to take everything from Guru and pass it on as it is. And that is when Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says, Evam parampara praptam. The whole knowledge has to be received in a Guru Shishya disciplic succession only. Otherwise, it is not appropriate. You should not be adding anything of our own, nor should we listen to anyone who adds any word of his own. Otherwise, it does not remain the science as it is. And hence, we try to purify ourselves by chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, so that we remain steadfast in our service, bow down to Guru and Krishna.